What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now don't forget to like this video as it does let me know to continue to give you free picks every day. So make sure to like this video clicking that button down below. And if we get 550 likes, I will do another video for tomorrow. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group. And as you guys see, we actually got 21 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 21 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $500 just yesterday, and another member who won $510 for the 7th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Charlie Crisp who said let's cash, and shouts out to TizzleBaby24Q7N who said great player. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first player you're talking about is Rui Hachimura, and this one is for 14.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at Rui, we actually have seen him go on the under in 5 out of the last 5 games. Now that is pretty interesting to see because we have seen him, pretty much go under on all games. November 24th, faced off against the Utah Jazz, actually had 13 points there. November 26th, faced off against the LA Clippers, had 13 points in that matchup. Then 14 points against Dallas on November 29th. After that, December 1st, faced off against the New Orleans Pelicans, had 14 points in that matchup, and 0 points against Phoenix Suns on December 2nd. So, very interesting to see. Obviously, we have seen Rui Hachimura struggle a little bit to get close to this line, and he has gone on the under quite consistently, with his average over the last 5 being 10.8. So, very interesting to see there. Now, coming into this matchup, we do know that the LA Lakers face off against none other than the Toronto Raptors. Now, it is definitely going to be a fantastic game between both of these teams. We are looking at two very skilled teams, and starting off with where these teams rank, Los Angeles Lakers come in at the 2nd spot in the Western Conference. They have a record of 15 wins, 5 losses. That's a 75% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are 7-3 from home, 8-2 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very interesting to see there. Obviously, looking at the Lakers, they have definitely put themselves, in a position to try to win a chip, and they face off against a Toronto Raptors team that rank the exact same, but in the Eastern Conference, because they actually rank 2nd in the Eastern Conference with a record of 15 wins and 7 losses. So that's a 68.2% win percentage there. They are 8-2 from home, 7-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak as well. So very interesting to see. Both these teams rank somewhat similar, but looking at actually Toronto Raptors and where they do rank when it comes to points allowed, and why we do like the under for this, is that we do see that Toronto Raptors rank 10th when it comes to points allowed. So Toronto are a very good team at restricting points, and also do a fantastic job at restricting points to the forward position as well. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for someone like Rui Hachimura. Now, we have seen Rui also struggle over the last couple of games. He has gone on the under quite consistently, and that's why coming into this next matchup, we do very much like the under for this situation here. Now, when we look at this matchup more in depth as well, we also do know, looking at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. But this one is just kind of a no-brainer to us. The fact that, LA Lakers face off against a Toronto team that do a great job at restricting points, and on top of that, with Rui definitely struggling as of lately when it comes to scoring, we definitely do like the under for this situation here. Now, for that reason, we do very much like the under under, and looking at someone like Rui Hachimura, we could definitely see this be a pretty poor point performance, especially for someone like Rui, who doesn't have the highest usage rate, out of all players in this Lakers roster. So for that reason, Rui Hachimura, 14.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about Payton Pritchard. So, Payton Pritchard, great player, as we all know. Now, this one is a fantastic one for actually 21.5 points. So, this one's a great one here, and this one actually is for more. Now, looking at someone like Payton Pritchard, we have seen him go on the over in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, you see on November 24th, faced off against Orlando Magic, had 19 points there. November 27th, faced off against Detroit, had 16 points. Then November 30th, faced off against Minnesota, had 9 points in that matchup, had 42 points against Cleveland on December 1st, and then December 3rd, faced off against the New York Knicks and had 10 points there. So very interesting to see. Obviously looking at this, we have seen Payton Pritchard go on the over in 1 out of the last 5, and his average over the last 5 is also 19.2. So, coming into this matchup, we do know Boston Celtics have themselves a very good matchup against none other than the Washington Wizards. So, it is definitely going to be an exciting game there. But looking at where both of these teams do actually lie, starting off with Boston Celtics, Boston have found themselves in a position where they actually rank 6th in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 12 wins and 9 losses. That's a 57.1% win percentage there. 7-4 from home, 5-5 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Now coming into this matchup, we do also see that Celtics face off against a Washington Wizards team, where Wizards unfortunately do actually rank 15th in the actual Eastern Conference. They have a record of 3 wins and 17 losses. That's a 15% win percentage there. On top of that, we also do see 2-6 from home, 1-11 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So it's definitely been very tough for Payton Pritchard coming into this game. Now, obviously, looking at this, we do also see that when it comes to Payton Pritchard and the Boston Celtics, they face off against a pretty poor, defensive Washington Wizards team, because Washington Wizards do rank 30th when it comes to points allowed. And that's a big reason why we do like the over for this situation here for someone like Payton Pritchard. Pritchard is facing off against a Wizards team who not only rank very poorly at restricting points, but on top of this, we also do see that they really struggle at restricting points to the guard position as well. So we are expecting someone like Pritchard to be able to take advantage of this and go on the over here. Now looking at, the matchup, we obviously have seen Payton struggle a little bit from scoring, but it is definitely because he has faced off recently against pretty tough defensive teams. Now that he faces off against Washington, we are expecting a different story there, and we could see someone like Pritchard go on the over quite consistently. So for that reason, I definitely do very much like the over for this one, and looking at someone like Payton Pritchard as well when it comes to this matchup between Boston and Washington. Washington Wizards do like to push the pace. They like to push the pace as much as they can, and we are expecting Boston to actually come up to Wizards pace. And as we've always mentioned, more pace leads to more volume and more opportunity to score, and we are expecting Payton to be able to take advantage of this and really score at a high volume clip. So for that reason, we are definitely liking the over for this one. When we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the over as well. So Payton Pritchard, 21.5 points for more, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than VJ Edgecomb. Now, as you all know, VJ Edgecomb, great player. Now, this one is a fantastic one because VJ has actually, done a great job throughout the season. But this one is for 7.5 rebounds and assists, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at VJ Edgecomb, we actually have seen him go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, you see on November 18th, faced off against the LA Clippers, had 12 rebounds and assists there. November 20th, faced off against Toronto, had 10 rebounds and assists. After that, November 21st, faced off against Milwaukee, had 13 rebounds and assists. Then, against Atlanta on December 1st, had 4 rebounds and assists. And then December 3rd, faced off against Washington and had 12 rebounds and assists there. So very, very interesting to see. Obviously, looking at those matchups, we have seen Philly face off against a Golden State Warriors team that, when we look at where both these teams do lie, starting off with Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers come in at the actual 9th spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 11 wins and also 9 losses. So that is pretty interesting to see there. 55% win percentage, 6-6 from home, 5-3 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Now, obviously, they face off against none other than the Golden State Warriors, where the Golden State Warriors come in at the 8th spot in the Western Conference. So not only that, but they are also 11 wins, 11 losses, a 50% win percentage there. And on top of that, they also have a 50% win percentage there, 7-3 from home, 4-8 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very, very interesting to see. Now, looking at this matchup between both of these teams, we are looking at rebounds and assists, and looking at where Golden State Warriors do rank when it comes to rebounds and assists. We do see Golden State Warriors rank 13th when it comes to assists, and then rebounds, they also do rank, a little bit lower, but they rank 23rd. Now, they rank pretty mid-tier in all 3 categories. However, coming into this matchup, we do very, very much like the under for this situation here, and that is due to the fact coming into this situation, we do actually see that Golden State Warriors do a fantastic job at restricting rebounds and assists to the actual guard position. Now, for someone like VJ, we are expecting a lot of the defensive pressure to be on him, as he has become one of the main players in this roster. Now, I wouldn't definitely say that he is, the star player or anything like that. People like to say Tyrese Maxey, but he definitely does have a very high usage rate. And the way Golden State Warriors like to play defense and the way they like their defensive strategies to be run is to focus on their stars and restrict them as much as they can. So that's why coming into this matchup, we do very, very much like the under for this one, and we definitely are expecting the under for this situation for someone like him. Now, when we look at VJ, although he has done a great job over the last 5 games, you do also have to realize that it really does come down to matchups. That's what's most important. And with a matchup like this, where he has faced off against much easier teams as of lately, he was able to go in the over, but now I do believe now that he faces off against a tougher team, we should see this go the other way. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one for someone like VJ Edgecomb. See a lot of value there to go on the under, especially, when it comes to the way this game will definitely be played. Now, looking at Philly as well in the matchup against Warriors, we are expecting, and looking at what the bookies are saying and seeing them like the under as well, definitely does help our favor there. So keep an eye out for the under. VJ Edgecomb, 7.5 rebounds and assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is Seth Curry. Now, as you all know, Seth Curry is now a part of his new team, the Golden State Warriors, and actually plays alongside his brother. And he did a fantastic job in his first game with the Golden State Warriors because he actually got 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and is also at an 85.7% field goal percentage. So he did absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously, that is his average since he has only played 1 game. But coming into this matchup, we do know Golden State Warriors have themselves a very, very good matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game there. Now, looking at where both of these teams do lie, starting off with actually Golden State Warriors. Warriors have had themselves a little bit of a struggling type season because they currently rank 8th in the Western Conference. So they are still in the playoff picture, which is not too bad, but they definitely are looking to try to be in that top 5 for sure. Now, they have a record of 11 wins and 11 losses. So that's a 50% win percentage there. 7-3 from home, 4-8 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very, very interesting to see coming into this matchup. Now, we do also know when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, they face off against none other than the 76ers, where 76ers are in the Eastern Conference, and they are also doing somewhat similar because they rank 9th in the Eastern Conference. So they are just slightly outside of that playoff picture as of right now. It is still very early on in the season, but they have a record of 11 wins and 9 losses. That's a 55% win percentage. They're also 6-6 from home, home, 5-3 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Now, obviously, looking at both of these teams and where they do lie, they do rank somewhat similar, just in different conferences. And looking at actually Philadelphia 76ers and where they do rank when it comes to, points, rebounds, and assists allowed, we do see Philadelphia ranked 21st when it comes to points allowed. When it comes to assists allowed, they rank 23rd. And then rebounds allowed, they do rank 21st. So, surprisingly, they rank pretty low in all three categories. And for that reason, we do very much like the over for this situation here. Now, for someone like Seth Curry, he has definitely done a great job in that first game. But what we are also expecting coming into this matchup is that his usage rate, may be still undecided by the bookies, which is why we should be able to see him take advantage of it and go on the over. Now, what I mean by that is, obviously, he has only played one game, so his averages isn't really accurate just yet. Obviously, the numbers wise, he hasn't really, bookies haven't really figured that out. So coming into this game, we could definitely see his line be a little bit lower, especially now that he is with a new team, but with a matchup like, against 76ers, who not only just allow a lot of points, rebounds, and assists, but also like to push the pace greatly. We definitely see someone like Seth Curry going on the over on his line here. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the over for this one. Now, when we also look at Seth in his only game so far with the Golden State Warriors, it was actually on the 3rd of December against OKC, had a 124-112 loss with 14 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds there. Now, he also did a fantastic job in the 18 minutes that he did get out there. I do believe he really outperformed that. And the fact that he was able to do that in 18 minutes, just imagine what he can do, with a little bit more minutes out there on the floor. So it is definitely going to be an interesting game. And I do believe that Seth will have the capabilities to go on the over in this situation, especially against a fast-paced and poorly defensive 76ers team. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the over for this one for Seth Curry, and keep an eye out for the line. If the line is under his averages, then definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Immanuel Quickley. So, Immanuel Quickley, great player, as we all know, and has done a fantastic job so far this season. Now, we've actually seen him do a great job, actually averaging 16.3 points. On top of that, 4.6 rebounds, 6.4 assists, and has also had a 46.6% field goal percentage. So he's actually done a great job over, multiple of games, and he's definitely done a very, I would say highly efficient job at that. But we actually do see him ranked 62nd in points, 103rd in rebounds, 18th in assists, and 86th when it came to field goal percentage. So it is actually fantastic to see, because we have actually seen him go on the over in, multiple games, and has definitely gone on the under in some, as of over the last 5, but we definitely will get into that in just a little bit. But we do know that him himself has done a great job for Toronto, and they have themselves a great matchup against none other than Los Angeles Lakers. So it is definitely going to be an exciting game there. We do know, looking at both teams are very competitive in their respective conferences. But starting off with the Raptors come in at the second spot in the Eastern Conference, and they also have a record of 15 wins and 7 losses. So it's a 68.2% win percentage there, 8-2 from home, 7-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak as well. So very good to see there. But looking at this matchup for Toronto, they face off against a Lakers team who rank the same, however, in the other conference, because they actually rank second in the Western Conference as well. They have a record of 15 wins and 5 losses. That's a 75% win percentage there. And on top of that, what we also do see is that they also have a record of 15-5, but 75% win percentage, and have a home record of 7-3 and an away record of 8-2 with a 1-game losing streak. So very interesting to see there. Now, obviously, coming into this matchup, we do also know when it comes to Immanuel Quickley, we do know that they face off against a Lakers team that do actually rank, starting off with points allowed, they do rank 14th. Looking at assists allowed, we see that the Lakers do actually, rank 22nd, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank second. So surprisingly, they rank very high in rebounds. However, coming into this matchup, we do like the over for Immanuel Quickley coming into this matchup, especially, for this game, but we do like the over 4 points and assists significantly. Now, a big reason being is that when we actually look at Immanuel Quickley, what we also do see when it comes to his usage rate, it is a little bit higher in points and assists as well. So we definitely see someone like Quickley focusing on those two categories to be able to go on the over, especially coming into this matchup. Now, looking at this matchup more in depth, we do also see, looking at the Lakers, they do like to push the pace a little bit, as well as Raptors. So we are expecting a pretty fast-paced game between both of these teams, and we definitely see that having a huge effect on this coming into this game for sure. Now, looking at this, we do also know that Immanuel Quickley does face off against the Lakers team for sure. But looking at the last 5 games for Quickley, we did see on the 25th faced off against Cleveland, had a 110-99 win with 11 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds there. On the 27th, faced off against Indiana, had a 97-95 win with 15 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. After that, on the 30th, faced off against Charlotte, had a 118-111 loss with 22 points, 10 assists, 3 rebounds there. After that, on the 1st, faced off against New York Knicks, had a 116-94 loss with 19 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds, and then 23 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds against Portland on a 121-118 win on the 3rd. So definitely very, very interesting to see. Now, looking at Immanuel Quickley, he has definitely done a great job in some games. Other games have definitely struggled. But coming into this next one, we do very much like the over for someone like Immanuel Quickley, specifically in the points and assist department. So definitely keep an eye out for those lines. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, especially if the line is under his averages. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Donte DiVincenzo. So Donte DiVincenzo, great player, as we all know. And as we do see, we do know that Donte DiVincenzo has actually averaged 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and has also had a 42.1% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. But we also do see ranks 75th in points, 121st in rebounds, 61st in assists, and 130th when it came to field goal percentage. So very, very interesting to see there. Now, looking at this matchup, we do also know that Donte DiVincenzo and Minnesota Timberwolves have themselves against a matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game for sure, but looking at both of these teams and looking at where they do rank, starting off with actually, Timberwolves, they both are in the same conference, so that helps there. But starting off with Timberwolves rank 6th in the Western Conference. They've done a fantastic job. Now, they actually have a record of 13 wins and 8 losses. That's a 61.9% win percentage there. On top of that, they are 7-3 from home, 6-5 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak. So very, very interesting to see. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know that Timberwolves face off against the Pelicans, where Pelicans rank 15th in the Western Conference. They have a record of 3 wins and 19 losses. That's a 13.6% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are also 2-10 from home, 1-9 from away, and are currently on a 4-game losing streak. So very interesting to see. Now, coming into this game, we do also know that, Pelicans defensively don't really rank too well as well. They rank 28th when it comes to points allowed. They rank 26th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed. They do rank a little bit better, but they still rank 19th. So they definitely do rank very, very low in all 3, but coming into this, we do very much like the over for someone like Donte DiVincenzo coming into this game. Now, this one is just kind of a no-brainer due to the fact that, Pelicans are a very poorly defensive team, and on top of that, looking at both of these teams, we are expecting a very, very, high bit of sort of pace out there in this game, and it could definitely lead to the over for this one. So for that reason, I definitely keep an eye out for the over for someone like Donte DiVincenzo coming into this game. See a lot of value there to go on the over, especially, when it comes to the way Donte has been playing as of lately. Now, looking at those lately games, we have seen on the 25th of last month, actually had a 117-112 loss against Sacramento and had 17 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds there. On the 27th, faced off against OKC, had a 113-105 loss with 11 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. On the 30th, faced off against Boston, had a 119-115 win with 15 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds there. Then on the first, faced off against San Antonio Spurs, had a 125-112 win and had 18 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Then 15 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds with a 149-142 win against the New Orleans Pelicans. So very, very interesting to see. Now coming into this matchup, we do like the over, as we mentioned, for someone like Donte DiVincenzo coming into this game. But what we also do see coming into this matchup is that we definitely like the over for any of those 3 categories, whether it's points, rebounds, and assists.